Dan Diorio, Joe Greenwood in for Greg Batten.
Good morning.
Fasten your seatbelts. Gerald Celente, author of Trends 2000, still a very relevant book and publisher of the TrendsJournal, joins us this morning. Good morning, Gerald.
Oh, there we go.
Good morning, Gerald.
Hello, how you doing, guys?
Hey, here's how I want to start. We were talking about the minimum wage, and I don't want to get into the debate about, how $9 really costs companies more because of regulations and taxes and the rising cost of health insurance. But I got a sense, Gerald, that most middle-class Americans, Stephen Covey Jr. wrote a great book called The Speed of Trust, that most Americans don't trust corporations and companies to do the right thing and take care of them. They got to go down on their hands and knees just to get a 2 or 3% wage increase. And this trust extends to not only capitalism, which I believe in, but most of American values that I truly believe in. Right now, it seems like most of the middle-class America has no trust into the institutions of America, and it's disconcerting for me. What's your opinion?
Well, first of all, on capitalism, this isn't capitalism. The merger of state and corporate powers is called fascism. That's the definition. That was right from Mussolini, who knew a thing or two about it.
Okay.
And you take 4 words to change this country. Too big to fail. In capitalism, you're not too big to fail. You rise and fall on your own merits. Listen to the words of Eric Holder, our Attorney General, at a hearing last week about the drones when Senator Grassley brought up the point that not one head on Wall Street rolled, although they paid violation fines. Not one was prosecuted. And Holder said words to the effect, it's not the exact quote, that these banks are too big to fail and that the people are too big to jail. And that if we jail them and this becomes unsettling, a big bank failing could hurt our economy and even that of the world economy. You don't touch them. You guys, anybody out there listening, commit a crime, the full extent of the law comes down on top of you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a big guy, no, it could damage the economy and we can't bring you to jail. This isn't capitalism. Again, when you look at all the dirty deals that are done across, whether it's from Peoria to the White House, across the country, hey, you want to open up you're going to employ 400 people? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to give you tax breaks, loan guarantees, infrastructure repair. Don't worry about it. The whole game is tilted. It's a takeover. You want to talk about corporations? Hey, remember this quaint little thing when they used to have stationery stores before Staples and Office Depot gobbled it all up? Hardware stores before there was Home Goods and Lowe's? Hey, here's a quaint little thing. People in their own community used to have local pharmacists that used to open up drugstores. Now there's CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, got all the action. It's a takeover. This isn't capitalism. The whole deal has been turned around so that the too big to fails and the most powerful get all the breaks. That's why people lost trust in it. You go to school, what do you get? A degree in worthlessness and $40,000 in debt. Look at the jobs. The jobs, 50% of the people that have jobs that graduated college are either working at part-time jobs or have jobs that pay below college-level education.
Gerald, part of this, though, is our fault, isn't it? I mean, with freedom comes responsibility, and we've been asleep at the switch as much in allowing this to happen. You talk about capitalism. I can't remember when Super Walmart opened up here. The unions were boycotting it because they don't hire union help. Yet I went over there, and every truck over there had a union sticker on it, and they were shopping there.
You got it.
So
you're 100% right.
So if we're mad about Walmart, then you know what? We may pay a little more for good wages to go to a local store who makes furniture, but we're making the choice by settling for the bottom, aren't we?
Yes, we are, and that you're 100% right, but it also goes to a whole nother level. You look at the latest poll that just came out. 76% of the people, Pew Research, don't trust the government to do the right thing. But yet, who's running the government? Look, just to give you a little background, I began my career at a graduate school running political campaigns in Westchester County, which is the richest county in the United States. And then they sent me up to Albany, and I was the assistant to the secretary of the New York State Senate. I also designed and taught American politics and campaign technology at St. John's University, and spent several years in D.C. as a government affairs specialist for the chemical industry. So I know what this game looks like. One of the chief writers in our TrendsJournal, which you have, is Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, who's the former Assistant Treasury Secretary under Ronald Reagan. We're a bunch of guys that have been there. So when you say it's our fault, and I give you the statistics about how many people don't trust government, they call them the Republicans and the Democrats. Adults call them the Bananos and the Gambinos. We don't have a representative form of government in this country. The only people that the government represents, a gang of 535 men and women who represent the most powerful and the people that give them the most amount of money. But in their world, in the white shoe world, where everything is clean and nice, they call it campaign contributions. Adults call it bribes and payoffs. The country's been taken over. This is not a democracy, representative democracy. Yes, it's our fault because, look, one of the trend alerts we just sent out to our subscribers was about the elections going on in Italy. And Beppe Grillo, they call him a comedian. They call him a comedian? How about the buffoons you got running around everywhere else? They're not comedians. Politics is show business for ugly people. But anyway, he just got more votes, his party, than any other party in Italy. It's called the Five-Star Movement. And one of the major tenets of the Five-Star Movement is direct democracy, like they do in Switzerland, the richest country in the world. You want to go to war? Let the people vote. You want to go into the euro? Let the people vote. You want to bail out the too big to fails? Go back and look at all of the polls back in 2008 when Bush was president and Henry Paulson, the head of the Goldman Sachs gang, before he became Treasury Secretary, pushed the whole too big to fail baloney down our throat. It was running 500 to 1 against. So we need to change the entire system.
You know, you talked about Beppe Grillo, and you talked about him going directly to the people with social media and how mainstream media, although we still follow it, doesn't matter. There's a generation coming up that will respond to social media and to direct communication. You've been calling for a third party that's going to utilize that. When do you think that'll emerge?
Well, it's emerging now. When is it going to happen in America? I don't know. Because look at this country. Look what's happened to it. I mean, we take more prescription drugs and painkillers than anybody else in the world. You think our brains are fried? Processed food, processed bodies, processed minds, processed news, processed politicians. So to me, the people have to rise up. But first, it's about yourself. You know, it's becoming healthy spiritually, emotionally, and physically. You're talking about the institutions breaking down. I mean, with a name like Diorio, I'm a Gcelente. You know, look what's going on with the Catholic Church. You want to talk about a broken-down institution that's lost its way, it's losing its flock? It's representative to me. And again, the motto of the TrendsJournal is think for yourself. I don't tell anybody what to believe. This is the way I see it. I tell you why I see it the way I see it. If you like it, fine. If you don't, great. It's representative of the breakdown of all the institutions. They've all lost their way. They all represent the most powerful and the people with the most money and their own agendas.
We're talking with Gerald Celente, publisher of the Trends Journal. We'll give you the website and how you can get the Trends Journal, his quarterly reports, what's going on. He's been, I would venture to say, 95% accurate or more over the past 15, 20 years that I have known him. Gerald Celente, publisher of the Trends Journal. If you want to subscribe or go to the website, we'll give you that information shortly. Gerald, let's shotgun a few things that are in the Trends Journal. I want to start with the economy. Economists disagree about a lot of things. One thing they agree about, if we ever shut off this quantitative easing, the chickens are going to come home to roost. How soon?
Well, the how soon is very hard to say. The Fed has already dumped in directly $2 trillion, $85 billion a month. $85 billion a month going to the money junkies, the financiers and the bankers. This is unprecedented. I mean, they're talking about a minimum wage. I mean, who ever heard of anything like this? Again, this is not capitalism. And it's not only the United States. This is an interest rate rally. Listen, Dan, I'm up here in Kingston, New York, Colonial Kingston. We're 2 hours north of New York City. I just bought 4 buildings. They're all 1750. You could go on the internet. You could see them. The 1750s Franz Rogan House, the Jensen House, the Kingston Academy, and another one. But all of those are pre-revolutionary, the first 3 I mentioned. I'm buying them because they're historic buildings. I want to preserve them, and I love this area. I got loans. One is a residential, 2.875%. The other 2, 3.25% commercial loans. They're giving the money away. They're debasing the currency. It's not only in the U.S. they're doing it. You have the new Prime Minister of Japan, Abe. What are they? Since he's been in, the yen is devalued 20% against the dollar. They're devaluing it. The Bank of Japan is doing the same thing the Federal Reserve is. Go over to Europe. You have got Mario Draghi over there. Oh, yeah, another Goldman Sachs guy, former vice chairman of the Goldman Sachs division over in Europe. What's going on there? Same thing. They have different names. Here they call it quantitative easing. How about ongoing monetary transactions? Does that work for you? So what they're doing is they're just dumping money into the system to keep it alive. When is it going to implode? I don't know. But here's what I do know. We're seeing a repeat of history. The crash of 1929, Great Depression, currency wars, trade wars, World War. The panic of '08, the Great Depression. There's a depression going on. There's a depression going on for all those millions and millions of people that have dropped out of the workforce in the United States. You're looking at a depression in Spain, a depression in Italy, a depression in Greece, a depression in Portugal, a depression in Ireland, a depression in Slovenia, a depression in Hungary. You look around the world, Romania, Bulgaria, depressions are going on. Currency wars. Listen to the words of the Brazilian finance minister Manteiga. There's a currency war. Abe, the new prime minister of Japan, they're lowering interest rates and bumping money in so that they can be more competitive. Currency war, his words. The head of the Bank of England, Mervyn King, a currency war. Head of the UBS and former head of Bundesbank, Alex Verber, a currency war. Trade wars are now heating up, and world wars are next. That's the way I see it.
All right, Gerald, if someone wants to subscribe to the Trends Journal, how do they do that?
TrendsJournal.com, TrendsJournal.com. And also, Dan, we do Trends in the News every day. Real news that you're not going to hear anywhere else. So, and we make it affordable for everyone. There's a discount request page. We know people are having a difficult time. TrendsJournal.com.
God bless. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. .com.
God bless. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. .com.